because just in case. Hola and hello, everybody.
Hola, ¿cómo están?
Bien, bien. Welcome to Cali Cocktail Hour. Everybody, welcome. We have a great show tonight. We have lots of things to share with you tonight. Teresa, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Everyone, bienvenidos. It's nice to be here again.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here too. That's my backup.
Right? Good plática today.
Yeah. And Joe Leek says, hello, Rubes. That's me. And then Chris says, hello there. Yeah.
Hola, Chris.
Hello, Chris. Chris has started his show yesterday, and I was his first guest.
Awesome.
Yes, we have a live stream community going, which people can communicate, and you get to meet people from all over. And I'm excited about our guest, Eduardo Cruz.
Yes.
Yes, and it's gonna be a great show. We talked a little bit before, not too much, but it is going to be a great show. So everybody out there, how are you doing? Oh, look, we have our other Araceli is out here.
Hola, Araceli.
Araceli also too, and Saul have 2 shows a week, shooting from Veracruz. No. Oh, Nuevo Leon, Monterrey. That's it.
From Monterrey.
Yeah. So they're shooting it from here to out to there, and so it's a really great show. It's holistic healing and talk. So it is in Spanish, and I'm learning more and more of my Spanish to go back. And oh, look, we have from Zacatecas and also from Chicago now. Is
awesome.
Serge. Yeah. So, yes, everybody's excited about Eduardo.
Yeah, and Eduardo, yes.
See, everybody's shouting out Eduardo. I didn't even
Hola,
know him
Chris.
yet. Yeah. So Chris is So Chris, there's lots of live stream shows now that that I've touched in one way or the other.
Yes,
I mean, not touched.
That is great. You've actually been able to bring a community together and communicate in the best way that we can, because we can't be in person, though we're slowly transitioning to that. But those that are in a hurry, let's take our time and slow down. That way we're not back to where we are. It's been a great platform, being able to communicate from, even your home and out to the world.
Yeah. And it's great because, like you said, even when this pandemic, obviously we'll pass it too. I was talking to you about how it's just a great way to meet people that we probably wouldn't even meet. And so this accelerated the technology where, we are going to meet people from all over. And, Eduardo's a perfect example. I mean, everybody that the last I mean, the shows have been, just people from all over the world, and it's great. It's great to meet people, and we are here for that one person that needs anything from us. Any kind of
Yes.
this we take in this energy and give it out, and it's a safe place for everybody, and it's a community space for everybody. So Raquel says, "Good evening, guys. Hola."
Good evening, Raquel.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Ruben?
Uli, I am doing good.
Good.
Hello, Uli. Uli's my other great friend who has
Hi,
another.
Uli.
Uli and I have another live stream show which he produces, and I get to sit back and he gets to do all the work, but it's an animation one. So I'm a animated puppet. He's an animated puppet, and yeah, it's a real animation. So that's another one. So there you go. You want to read that one?
Saludos from the Pacific Surfliner. Que suave, like little surf emoji and the tren. Tren el Sur, como los prisioneros de Chile. Vive 80 exes.
Serge, you're sending us like he's a
keep bringing up Serge.
He's a digital nomad, so he's got all these like emojis y todo así. Sí. Inglés, español y emojis.
Emojis.
That's right. That's life. That's new life. So I've had a very stressful night last night, and I had to deal with some stuff that that is just going through. I'm a overthinker. I think a lot of people are. A lot of people in this world are overthinkers. So, but I had to wake up in the middle of the night, but I kind of know myself now, so I know that it's going to end. I know that, but I don't try to suppress what I'm trying to think anymore. So I just kind of, it's almost like an annoying friend. It's coming over at nighttime and talking to you. Okay, let's get it over with. But one technique I learned, and this is a scientific technique that I learned.
I bet share.
Yeah, and well, it's interesting because you learn little things here. A lot of I was talking to Eduardo yesterday that a lot of stuff is I'm based off of the Eastern philosophy, right? That's kind of where I went. But it to me it's fascinating that now a lot of this is going to whoops, the music wants to go. So a lot of it is going to scientific. They're actually doing all these scientific researches and stuff like that. But one thing it was really easy changing the I. Like said, I have to do this. I have to be the one. Kept saying that like I got to get this done because I'm a person that really takes things on. Instead of changing the I to we, and we have to do it like almost like I have a team, right? And so when I changed the I to a we or to us, and the theory is that we're more compassionate toward others than we are to ourselves.
That is absolutely true.
So I'm not putting if it's just I got to do this, I have to do this. My girlfriend's like, Ruben, you have a team, it's all you guys, not just you. And because that's
right.
How my mind will go. But changing those two narrative, those two words was, once I said, okay, we have to do it, I'm like, okay. And it started to calm down a little bit. Like, and and then the next morning I was okay. Cause once I do that, I won't sleep, but I know that about myself. I know that this is how my brain works, and I have to empty the cup of all these thoughts. Yeah. So, but I'm good now. I'm here and I'm excited. Good. So yeah. So,
I'm excited too, yes.
And you, how are you doing?
I am doing well. Yes, yeah. My little ones my littlest one is sleeping and the other one is kind of just in quiet mode. The hubs is hanging out with them. So, but other than that, it's been a long week for me, but I was really excited for this platica today and then tomorrow morning. So
I know.
It's kind of like I have my own vigil, like velación, where I stay up, like song and prayer and danza, and then like the next day, you still keep going and dancing. So that's how my Saturdays feel.
And I was going to say, Teresa also has an awesome show at 6 a.m, so she is going to bless us from being here tonight. So she may bounce out. Eduardo and I were talking a lot. We may talk a lot. So he thought it was going to be a half-hour show. I'm like, no. You better put your seatbelt on because we're gonna go for a ride.
We can chat for an hour and then from there see where it takes us.
Yeah, and then Serge put this. See, casitas.
Ochentas X, fantastic X de los ochentas, rockerex. Ah, qué chido.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to a song. This song is actually I wrote with my friend who passed away, and So, and I did
Paz
some,
descanse. Rest in
yeah.
peace.
So,
Yes.
and she's out there for, she's always sweet, one of the sweetest persons I've ever met in my life. A beautiful voice. And we're going to bring Eduardo after this. And I just wanted to play it because, it's just, we like to expect things in the energy in the universe and people who have passed are still with us too. So, anyways,
Absolutely.
it is a glitch video. It's going to be, you might want to close your eyes because there's a lot of visuals in there. So here we go. And then we'll be back, everybody. Please, it is an interactive show. Please feel free to ask questions. Feel free to put who you are out there because we want to say hello and we want to welcome you and welcome everybody here. So, right after this, we will come. It is a 3-minute long video. I know a lot of people's attention span is not more than 2 minutes more, but it's 3 minutes. So if you can hold on, I'm gonna drink I have for my cocktail today. I have a Zaipang sparkling sake today
Oh,
to
awesome.
honor my other self. So yes, we need you to
Salud.
honor. Yeah, salud everybody, and I am grateful for you being here. I'm grateful for everybody out there, and my voice is changing. So let's go.
You should get on a horse and take a buggy ride. 1, 2, hey, where you live?
You're so sweet to me. Treat me like a movie queen. You ain't no kiss and tell. I ain't yours for show and tell. No, give it all you got. 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 I'm so good to you, giving you love that's ooh good. Baby, let's get secluded. See what happens to our mood, yeah. Give it all you got. 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 Love is the tenderizer. Love is the humanizer. Love is the beautifier. Love is the synthesizer. Give me that good stuff. Give me that good stuff. Give me that good stuff. Give me that good stuff, babe. Give it all you got. Give it all you got. Give it all you got. Give it all you got.
Hola, Eduardo.
Hola, Eduardo.
So before we go to you, remember you said, oh, we're gonna go for a half hour, so we have 15 minutes to talk, and that's you're out of here. Thank you for coming, everybody, to Cali Cocktail Hour, and Eduardo, thank you for coming. We appreciate everything you had to say. Um, so we had to go back. Everybody's saying hello right now. Pablo says hello.
Hello, Pedro.
Yeah. Lisa Avina, who is the one that got me connected with Eduardo. So she's from Palm Desert right now.
Hola,
Shoot.
Lisa.
Surge again. No kidding. Que fancy traguito. Yes, it is. It is a sake mimosa. And then I will get back on my mezcal roots because guess what? I got my vaccine. So guess what? I can go out. Tomorrow I will be presented at the Cantina Alley if you want to come and give me a mezcal.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So Zara, ¿cómo estás, Zara? How you doing? Zara is in the hills of Mexico. Sorry. Hills of California. Um, and Katy Song, thank you. And then Jill says, hello, Lisa. And great song, give it yes. And we have, oh, hello, Rebecca. How's it going over there? So, yes. So now that we said, oh, hold on, another one. And the other co-host, Heather, how you doing, Heather? She's actually going to go with me tomorrow too, out in my first outing, which I'm kind of scared. But anyways, so
It will be
yes.
fun. You'll enjoy it because we've
Yeah, but how do you
well,
get? How do you get? I'm gonna be like a gato, like running, like
ye-
with my hair up, like don't get near me, don't hug me, take your COVID breath over
well,
there.
well, you could do like air high fives
Yeah,
and like distance like chocalas or
yeah. And then we have Maya, who's another wonderful person, wonderful community person out there, always doing something, and she's part of the Black Artist Fund, and she helped found that, and an awesome, wonderful person. Hello, Maya.
hi
Um,
Maya.
yeah, and can't tell I can't wait to drop by. Yes. So everybody, thank you for coming out. Eduardo, thank you for coming.
You're welcome. And hi, Ruben, Cuervo Suave.
Let's see.
And hola, Teresa, un gusto. Y thank you so much for having me tonight. I really appreciate the, opportunity to share art, culture, and a little bit of our experience, for the last almost 4.5 years, sharing the knowledge that we are getting, as we go. And thank you so much, Lisa, for making this connection. And I hope you're having a wonderful time. And
Yeah.
hi to everybody who has been saying hello, and especially to my friend, and also he's a group member, Pedro Pablo. I think he was saying hi just a little bit.
Yes, yes. Hello,
Yeah,
Pedro
he did.
Pablo.
Yeah,
Mhm.
him and I, we've been through wonderful experiences lately. So, well,
And
here we are.
yes, and we are binding the two wonderful states of California and Oregon tonight, and
Oh,
Mexico,
yes.
because Mexico is actually California's Mexico. So
Right.
we'll talk about that later. Um, but you have Eduardo from Chris and Mary Goldthorpe.
Oh, hi, Mary. Hi,
Yeah.
Chris. Wonderful people they are. They also live here in Oregon.
Right.
Yay,
Oh,
thanks for tuning in.
yeah. We get some good people. Chris says hola, Eduardo. Chris is yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
Chris,
Hey, Chris, how are you?
yeah. See, we have a whole bunch of people, Eduardo. So hello, Eduardo, and
Yeah.
everyone else from
Oh,
Laura Martinez.
Hola,
our
Laura.
dear friend Laura Martinez. Hi, Laura. Hopefully, we get to see you soon.
Yes. So Eduardo, for the crowd out there that doesn't know you, for the people here in Cali,
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about yourself and about your. So number one, you're an artist, right?
Yeah.
You have some beautiful work, but you're also a founder of a group called
Huehca Omeyocan.
Yeah.
Correct.
How was that? Good.
That was
Yes. We
that was
practice.
great.
That's the only thing we practiced tonight, and we hit it. So, yeah. So
It,
and then, yeah. Tell us about that too, and tell us about yourself. Actually, we would love to know about you.
yeah. Well, thank you again, Ruben
Can I
Cuervo.
say that one more thing before we go? You have a
Yeah.
beautiful smile. Okay. Okay. Go.
Okay, thank you. So, you know, I started Huehca Omeyocan 4.5 years ago, with my wife, and we just wanted to offer to our communities something different, something uh, that could offer more than just dancing and drumming. So I started exploring other ancestral instruments, learning about our history, and it's been an amazing experience, because through these 4.5 years, that's how I've been meeting wonderful people just like you know. And I think we are very very blessed by the universe in that sense, you know. And me, I'm always
Absolutely.
been an artist, but there's another thing that I am, and a lot of people doesn't know, but I'm a construction worker full time, you know. So I do all the artwork and all the presentations, celebrations, ceremonies, and you know, we have a lot of things going on. Before COVID, we were with our friend Laura doing a lot of presentations and assemblies in different schools in the Portland area, you know. And that changed with COVID, and then we've been doing a lot of virtual stuff. So that's, you know, that's who I am. And an artist I've been my whole life, you know. I don't even remember when I started. But my family says that I started very very early, you know, that as soon as I could get a hold of a pencil or a pen or whatever, I could start drawing stuff and doing, you know, that kind of thing. And I never stopped until today.
And where are you from?
I was
Too.
born in the state of Mexico, near Mexico City, but my parents are from Guanajuato, Mexico.
Okay.
Guanajuato.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So let me ask you a question about, people get I mean, I get confused about the state of Mexico. The state of Mexico, you have Mexico City, but what else do you have around it?
I think, well, it's Michoacan, it's Querétaro,
Oh,
and
okay.
Hidalgo,
Hmm.
and
Places that I need to go.
yeah, that's north. And then south, it's there's another state I don't remember right now, but it's a green, beautiful state. Yeah, I'll need to see the map.
That's
I
okay. That's okay. That was my gotcha question. That was, yeah. So we have Jose's here too. Hola, Jose.
oh, hola,
Yeah, yeah.
Jose.
And we have another wonderful artist, John Huerta here,
Hola,
and
John.
yeah,
Hi there.
and Maya is saying hello, Zara. Hello, Zara is because that goes right here. Hello, Maya, and then hello, Zara. Yes. So everybody's communicating and having a good time here. Um, so Teresa, I brought Teresa on here too because I was like, well, I don't know that much, which is cool because I don't know a lot about what we're talking about too, right? Different things. So I'm like, I need a backup, and I need because I may have a hostile person. No, but yeah. So, anyways, I'll give the mic to
So,
Teresa. Yeah.
this Eduardo, you were talking about like you're a construction worker, you know, danza artist. Um, it really comes to finding a balance, and I think that's one of the important things of like the danza culture itself and the things that we do. And I know gente often find themselves, especially in the danza community, where they'll start and then like they like go away for a little bit and then they kind of come back. And so I would say like for the danza community, if you can explain the importance of kind of balancing everything that you do, because it's something that calls like our corazon, our heart. There's something about danza that kind of always brings us back.
Exactly, exactly. I think you understand that very well, Teresa, because you live that too. You know, that's part
Hmm.
of your life too. So, uh, and I am not a dancer myself. What got me into that, you know, was the sound of the drum. Was, you know, that beat,
Yeah.
the heartbeat of the earth, you know, the
Hmm.
heartbeat of the universe, you know,
The vibration.
that vibration, that yeah,
Hmm.
that you know, that is really that, you know, when I grew up seeing dancers and hearing the drum, but unfortunately, you know, I just never took the time to learn or explore any of that until probably a little bit over 8 years ago, when I discovered that in Oregon, you know, there was a lot of groups doing that kind of stuff too. So, and I thought that was only in Mexico, wrong. But so anyway, I started drumming. I asked one of those uh, groups to let me try some drumming, and the guy was such a nice person, and he said, oh yeah, you can try. And I tried it. He let me try. He took me to a ceremony for Dia de los Muertos in Portland, and after that, I knew that that was something that was going to be at some point part of my life. And then, but I couldn't like start doing that right away, so I had to wait for a few more years until I was ready.
Right.
And then when I was ready, I, contacted a different person, a different group. My friend Johnny Martinez, he also has a group here in the Portland area, near Portland in Beaverton, Oregon. And, he's very charismatic and he's very welcoming. And, we just clicked, and I started learning from him and different groups and all that. But then I got to the point where I said, you know what, I just like this so much, but I want to do something more than just drumming. So I
Right.
started also playing the teponashli or the slit drum, flutes, ocarinas, and exploring all those other instruments
The
that
sound.
sometimes and sounds exactly then sometimes are left, uh, behind,
They
because
are.
they mainly focus on drumming. So, and when it comes about finding balance, Teresa, well, it took me probably more than 30 years of my life to start figuring out some things.
So
And it's okay. Often tell him that danza isn't going anywhere. And I, like I said, sometimes I have pláticas where people are like, I really want to be part of it, but there's something else. And so I always remind them, and it's usually students that or people that are in the group where they want to either they're continuing their education or they're changing work. And so I always tell them, danza is not going to go anywhere. I said, you can always come back. You can always find a circle. You can always find somewhere to connect yourself. You don't have to dance to keep learning about your culture, and just learning about the danza and everything else that goes with it. And you said it well, where it's not only the drums, it's not only danza, and some of the other sounds are being left out. But I think that's something that we have to continue to teach, and to remind them that there's more pieces than the huehue, the tambor, and the danza itself. And so that's good that you're you're listening to the other sounds that have always been there, but like they've kind of disseminated a little bit.
I
yes.
think it's, slowly coming back, and I think we'll get there. We have
Yes.
to be a little bit patient,
Mhm.
with that, but we'll get that. And people that I meet, in presentations, ceremonies, or in art shows, because I get to do some or participate in some of the art shows here in the Portland area, because I'm also part of the Latino artist community Ideal here in Portland.
Mhm.
So, wonderful people, pretty amazing artists here in Portland. So, when I'm eating out, when I get my lunch at work and I'm wearing my construction clothes and all that, there has been people that ask me, "Do you actually have a job? I thought you were only an artist and a performer, and you lived, out of that." And I'm like, "No, I actually don't get much from that. That is my passion,
Right.
and I'm not saying, you know, I don't get anything for doing that. But it's not. I'm not talking about money. You get different benefits
Yeah.
than money.
Well,
So
Right.
Eduardo, let me go back to one thing you said real quick about the Portland, the Latino community artist that association, right? That you're
Yes.
part of, right? Which is cool because Teresa is part of another organization here in Sacramento, right?
Mhm.
And it is good to maybe to join up in and this is why I think this platform we talked about this platform, because we can this is way we connect without having the expenses of coming all the way to Sacramento or going all the way to
Right.
Portland or to Oregon and then we can afterwards, right? After we connect in this way. Um, and I just want to go back just because someone's saying hello to Teresa, hello, and that's Lupita, who is another great
Hola,
artist. Yeah.
Lupita.
And she has another show too, and she's on Instagram. Lupita, get on Twitter and Facebook. Um, and on balance, John is another great artist, but he says I was in retail management and a full time artist, and yes, very much a challenge. But I bless my art full time, and I still work a lot. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that is hard for all of us. That's why I had my stress yesterday because I'm like, oh shit, I got to go back to work. I was
Yeah.
a out of out of work artist. That was great. That was awesome. That was like my hair's long now. I'm like, I'm just pulling it down, and now I'm like, oh my god, I got to go back to work. I got to be. Um, but I know Lisa told me you work a lot too. But I want to play real quick because we're talking about some of the music that you do. So I wanted to play that and go back, and then we can come back right now. So you can talk to us after this, okay?
Okay.
Ready?
Sounds
Let's do
good.
it. Everybody else, get a drink. I'm gonna refresh my sake, but this is Eduardo Cruz.
Hola, Dios.
Yeah, and that was beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
was, you got me there. I was like, keep going. You know, I was
Ya
Yeah.
like,
te
whoa,
pona-
okay,
So do you make,
wait.
have you had an opportunity to make your own instruments? Like, have you made a teponatzli
Uh,
or tried to make a
I
drum?
honestly I haven't, but my brother he has. He has
Oh,
done some beautiful drums for me, and I just help with the easy part, which is engraving or doing some wood burning on
No,
them.
no, that's not. I'm going to show
that,
you. That's not
but
the
that is
easy
fun.
part.
That is fun to do when you're carving in the wood or wood burning it. So yeah, it's some trabajo, pero it's beautiful
It's a
Yeah.
work.
lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I sometimes I feel a little bit, bad because my brother he's also a construction worker. In fact, both my brothers work with me in the same company, and my brother, with his spare time, he would carve the drums, the Teponashli drums or the Huehuetl drum, and then just have it ready for me so I can do some pyrography, wood burning, or some engraving, or paint. Sometimes I just use acrylic paint,
Hmm.
because I think the ancestors use also a lot of paint, and you see today you see a lot of like natural or raw wood,
Hmm.
like teponaztlis or huehuetls, but they used to use a lot of paint, even for the flutes and ocarinas, made out of ceramic or clay.
Yeah.
They also painted those, and which I do too, And just to mention something, I like to say hello to my friend Samuel Becerra. He's the one playing the clapitzali or the flute on that video
Yeah.
you just played, Ruben.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
He's such a great artist. He does many different things, and he's a great musician too.
Yeah, and there's I think like I'm gonna say from this from the Brown point of view, but we have a lot of great artists here in Sacramento, right? That aren't, and I'm sure in Portland the same thing, but they're, and I learned this from the Culturales Vierneses at the Latino Center put on. But I was like,
Hmm.
there's so many dancers of different states and all this stuff, and you only see them in festivals, but you never get to see the story, right? You never
Right.
get to see the story of like someone who's just out there and they're master craftsmen in Mexico, but now they're in America, and so, I mean, that to me is the most beautiful part about these little connections, is like seeing, him playing the flute, and just, I'm just like blown away by it too. But to,
Yeah.
to make these connections, and to bring these people who are probably don't want to sometimes be known, and just, sometimes there's like obscure out there, but they're just a beautiful, and I thank you for that too. We do have a
First,
question for you.
yes,
So first, Chris says that was awesome. Is there a story about the drum that is carved and looks like an animal?
the
So,
drum.
so I think he was talking about the teponaztli, where like se veía como either like a jaguar, and I think that
Oh,
was the face.
yes. Well, I bought that Teponaztli drum from my friend and amazing musician and human being, Ramiro Ramirez, Ramiro R. Duarte. If you guys want to check out at some point his music, he's in Spotify and also YouTube. Ramiro R. Duarte, wonderful musician, and he's been my teacher and an amazing friend, and I get a lot of my instruments from him because he's been playing ancestral instruments for pretty much his entire life. So he has a good ear, so I know that whenever I buy something from him, it'll be
Yeah.
good.
Is he
So
is he in Oregon then?
no, he lives in Mexico City,
Oh,
but
okay.
he comes. Last year we couldn't, invite him because of COVID, but he comes to our annual celebration. So if you come this year, he might be here. I don't know. We haven't talked,
Yeah.
but he might be here this August, celebrating with us. And I think he sold me that teponaztli a few years ago, and that's actually perro de agua. It's an
Oh,
otter. It's an otter. You know how otters are called by
No.
different
Yeah.
cultures,
hmm.
perro de agua or lobo de agua,
Which
because
is
they just have this dog, strange
I
look.
I actually love that translation. So an otter is perro de agua, what, a water
Perro de
dog,
agua,
Agua. Yeah,
a
yeah,
water dog,
water
the
dog, or
otter.
water wolf.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it depends. Like I think, cultures from
Yeah.
or brothers from the north used to call it like that. Some of them, and in what is today Mexico, they used to call him or call others perro de agua. So
So Chris, you got that there, perro de
yeah,
agua. So that's your new word, your new phrase. Do not
And
call
I'm
me
sure
that
you'll
though.
get to see it in person one of these days, Chris.
Yeah. And have you been to California at all, or I mean to perform at all in there too?
No.
No. See, this is another person we have to bring out too. Yeah, we
Again,
have.
when we go visit my wife's family in
Yeah.
Compton, uh,
Sacramento's right
we
on the way.
go to LA and we visit some groups and she dances, but I don't get to play a lot, because with all due respect, sometimes it's mainly drumming and it's kind of loud. So if you try to play the Teponaztli drum or something like an ocarina, something that is kind of soft, you don't hear much of that.
Yeah. Well, Adisele said that was beautiful, and that was your playing, the thing too, the song that you played.
Thank you
Um,
very much.
and then Water Dog, that's cool, that Chris says, and a road trip. Yeah, so, hey, Compton's right down the street from us. I mean, you're not down the street, but like maybe on the way though. You gotta
Actually,
pass
I
through
have a
Sacramento.
sister that lives not too far away from you. She lives in Stockton.
Yeah, see, there's the same thing. That you go Sacramento, Stockton, and then you go
Oh,
to Compton.
yeah.
So yeah, so everybody out there, thanks for asking questions because we appreciate that for being an interactive show, not just us talking. We really want you to ask questions because we have Eduardo here. So let's go into some of your artwork then, okay? And we talked about your let me see about your carvings, right, and your work. So I'm gonna put some stuff up. You can just explain to us. We'll do a couple, and then we'll come back. Well, I mean, but it's gonna cover the screen, but we can still talk about it. Okay.
Okay.
Remember, this is the random part. Okay.
This is the exciting part.
Yes. Here you go.
Oh,
Remember,
the Huitzilin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Huitzilin or Huitzilin, I
Mhm.
guess some people calls it. Either way is accurate. Either way, it's fine. So that's metal etching. That my etchings are all freehanded.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah. That's a piece that I still need to get framed because I frame my etchings and I choose like an aluminum frame, so it's all metal, and it's interesting because most of the metal I use for my etchings, which could be uh, steel,
Yeah.
coated steel, or coated aluminum that comes in different colors. So working on construction gave me the opportunity to do that because we have a full metal shop where we build our own flashings and metals for roofs and chimneys and that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of leftover pieces. So then I started like just etching those, and it just came out nice. And I started doing it more and more until I got better and better. And good thing about it is that that material is ready to go to the recycling. So instead of taking all to the recycling, I just get to uh, you know, keep a few pieces for myself.
Hey.
And
And recycle it.
yeah, yes, exactly.
So
and then it,
yeah,
and then
Chris
it
asked,
ends
do
up
you
in
ever make
somebody's
any?
wall.
Oh, sorry. Chris always asked if you do you make any prints out of the etchings?
I've never done that, and that's a question that I always get.
Yeah.
Probably people doesn't like me for not doing prints.
Well, there you go. Well, yesterday
Well,
yeah. Oh, go ahead,
some
Teresa.
artists, I was about to say, some artists, once they create something, they don't like to recreate it and it be the same thing. At least for myself, anytime that I work either on a piece of jewelry or something, I like to make that one piece and tell them this is the only piece. No, it's never been recreated. But some people like, oh well, can I have that one, or can you make another one like that? And it really just depends on the artist.
Yeah, see, I'll make a piece and then I'll drink some mezcal and I'll throw it on it and then go, you know what? That's an original piece right there. You'll never have it unless you give me another
Right.
shot. And then, so anyways, so let me ask you a question. So yesterday we talked a little bit, and I think we just went into a really deep discussion.
Mhm.
Eduardo and I'm like, I forgot that we weren't on live, but I did tell him about my mom who passed away when I was born. And I said, I don't know why we got into that, but I think we did get into that. And Eduardo told me a story. He's like, well, and I want you to tell that story just because it's a beautiful story and it has to do with our culture and these wonderful stories that people don't hear very much. So we'll rewind a little bit, and I'll say, Eduardo, mi mamá murió cuando nací, right? She died when I was born, and you said to me the
Well,
story.
yeah. I think more than a story, this is how our ancestors, this is another way of dealing with loss, because by remembering your, loved ones that are no longer in this physical world, you know, uh, little by little, you heal. So anyway, this is some kind of metaphor about the hummingbirds and what they really represent in many cultures of Anahuac. Uh, so what the hummingbird or Huitzilin represents is, the souls of the men and women warriors, that instead of going to the Mictlan or the Tlalocan or these other, places that they believe that the dead ones would go, the souls of the warriors went straight into the sun in a trip that would take about 4 days, and after 4 years living in the sun, the soul of these warriors would be able to come back in the shape of a hummingbird. So whenever you see a hummingbird, you remember the ones that are no longer in this world, the ones we loved, and that somehow tells you that, that they don't really completely leave this world. They will always uh, remain here, and we will make them, stay here by just remember them. And
Yeah.
also another animal that represents that is the butterfly. So that's the reason that you see in the cosmology and all the art that our ancestors did, you see a lot of different birds and animals
Butterflies.
and
Hmm.
butterflies and hummingbirds and all that, and also, being a warrior. That's we have an idea of what it means to be a warrior today, and I think a lot of people relates the word warrior to some sort of soldier, and in our cultures, uh, being a warrior means something deeper than that, So anyway, being a warrior, like for example, women who died giving birth were given, that same level of respect as warriors, and
Hmm.
also their souls would go straight into the sun and come back in the shape of a hummingbird. They see what they dealt and all that. So being a warrior in our culture really means more than just being a fighter or being, a soldier. And I think we have this beautiful concept, and there's a book that I highly recommend that is called Los Guerreros de la Muerte Florecida by a great professor, Guillermo Marin Ruiz. Is not, unfortunately, that book is not translated to the English language. I might be wrong. I would need to double check with Professor Guillermo Marin Ruiz because he's got some books translated to the English language, but I'm not sure about that one. But for whoever can read Spanish pretty decent, pretty well, I highly recommend that book. And it's not a huge book. It's a book that you can read in probably, I don't know, a few hours, depending on your, how fast you read. Me, I read pretty slow.
Yeah, Ma, what about an audiobook for us dyslexic people? Right? Yeah. So thank you for that story. I thought that story was awesome, and I was like, I learned yesterday. I was like, okay, we gotta, but the hummingbird just came up, and and like I said, I played my friend who passed away too. I get to save her and her voice and her energy. It's a different kind of energy out there, and I put that up there. So let's go to some of your other part, your artwork, okay?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I already did that one.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, as you can see,
Wow.
It's beautiful.
you know,
Yes, that is beautiful.
as you can see, I really like Huitzilians, hummingbirds, colibris, however you call it. I really like them, and that's the concept, uh, you know, about them and the symbolism and what they represent in our cultures from Anáhuac. Really, makes me love them and appreciate them, But also, that's not all of it, depending on the area of Anahuac or Mexico, if you want to say that, there's also going to be like other meanings to that symbolism, but that's a wood burning.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And if you want, I already finished that piece because that is part of the process. If you want, I can show it to you right now.
Yes, bring it on.
Yes, let's see it. The final piece.
It's right here. And
oh wow!
Make sure it's straight. This way.
Wow.
And are you selling those, or for people out there that want to know?
I sell them, but this one doesn't belong to me already. Someone.
Oh my God! It's for me. Thank you so much. I just.
I will.
No.
One for you, just because you shared with me your the story with your mom and all that. I really want to do something for you, and but this one is actually for a very good friend of mine, and I mean, he was ready to take it yesterday, but the only reason he didn't take it is because it wasn't ready. I still need to use a little bit of natural oil, because on my wood burnings I use natural oil, so the wood keeps that natural look,
Yeah.
and but it's protected in case you drop your drink on top of it. I don't know.
Yeah. That's me.
And it looks like it's purged, but like it's coming out of like the agua, and like and it looks like there's vibrations like slowly coming out of it.
Well, that's exactly what I wanted to project here. More, but you described it very well. But I think what I wanted to show with this piece is that we are in the center of our own reality.
Right.
No matter where you are in the center of your own reality. So you can be shaped and also shape the surroundings, the environment around you.
Right.
So I think but I think you described it in a very accurate, beautiful way. And the good thing about my artwork is that it's here, and above all, I just make it. The universe put this energy in me, this inspiration, and then people can make whatever they want out of it.
Right.
You can see. I don't know. I really enjoy art shows because people are always telling me things that I never thought about my artwork. I actually learned a lot from people by telling me what they feel when they see my artwork, and wood burning is amazing. I highly recommend people doing wood burning. You just have to learn like a few tricks about not breathing the smoke as you go.
That's me. and also I'll probably burn my skin. That's two.
And I like the texture of the wood. I've done so many different type of woods. That is exotic wood, hardwood. Maple. This is myrtle wood. There's a lot of myrtle trees here in Oregon, and this is something that I really enjoy. And it's good therapy. Art is. I mean, you both understand that very well. Art is like. It's like, for me, it's like the best therapy for people. It's so relaxing. So if you want to try something different, wood burning is something that I highly recommend. So anyway, I just wanted to show this.
That is beautiful.
And,
you got to come down and do a show here in Sacramento, so people will love it. Right?
Yes.
Oh, it would be
Absolutely.
very nice to meet you in person.
I don't do a person. I'm actually not a person. I'm an energy being. So I put on my human skin for the show, and then my Cuervo Suave outfit, and then that's it.
That makes sense.
I've never met Teresa in person in flesh form. So
I see.
Anyways, hey, so I'm gonna play some of your technique right now, and then can you describe it over? Because I had to take out this for some reason. The music was really, I told it just really slowed down really a lot. But I'm gonna bring up some of the stuff that you're doing actually live on it. So you can explain to us what's going on here.
Oh, actually, that's a drum. That's one of the drums that my brother made. You
Wow.
know, and he made the drum, and I decided to do some. He helped me to do some. I don't know if you are familiarized with fractal wood burning.
Oh
Uh,
no,
No,
so, so you see how those lines, not the one that I'm, not the Tlaloc face that I'm working on,
yeah,
but actually the rest of the drum. You see how it looks like rivers or veins or
yeah,
lightning. So to get that look, you basically what you're doing is you electrocute the wood. You use. My brother was able to build a device that can, uh, just do that. It's dangerous,
yeah,
but it's beautiful. And so, him and I, we've done a lot of that. And so when he did that, I asked him to do so. And then I worked on the Tlaloc face, and I don't think I posted any pictures or videos of that drum finished. I'll do
yeah.
it at some
That'd be
point.
great.
for
And then
Eduardo, for those that are listening,
yeah,
tell us what Tlaloc means.
Well, Tlaloc. So here's the thing with Tlaloc. Many people believe that Tlaloc is the god of the rain, and you know that's inaccurate in my opinion, because the concept of gods, or the concept of God, or the word God didn't exist in this continent before colonialism.
Right.
So that's a little bit. So what Tlaloc really means, it means the liquor of the earth. Because the rain, the earth drinks the rain. When it rains, that water goes, gets into the earth, and then things grow. But I learned from Professor Guillermo Marin that you can go beyond that concept, and also I learned that Tlaloc can be also, it can also represent luminous energy, energía luminosa,
Yeah.
which can also be some sort of rain, So I guess I encourage people to do a little bit of research and learn about, what Tlaloc means, and
first,
you're gonna find a lot of interesting stuff.
first I need to know how to spell it. And
Wow.
first time I heard it, so yes, I have to talk to you back on that. And we'll put some
Well,
stuff in the comments after people can read it afterwards. Teresa, the other Teresa is Ola, and she was talking about what we said about art is uh, therapeutic, right? Art is great for soul and
yes.
healing. Raquel is LOL. I'm doing my artwork as we speak right now. It's great therapy. Hola, Vero, ¿cómo estás? And then Uli was talking about electrocuting the wood. I like that on your piece right there.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's fun. Again, it's a little bit dangerous. I mean, it's not for everybody. You have to know what you're doing, So whenever we do it, I don't if people ever tries that, and you just go to YouTube and look for, or search for fractal wood burning, and it'll show you a bunch of videos, But I highly recommend, don't do it, if you don't feel comfortable doing
Okay.
it, and don't do it when you're, uh, by yourself.
Or drunk.
Well,
Right.
definitely
Tres
not.
mezcales? No. So we're gonna play another one of yours right here.
Yeah, well, I really like sports, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
So often when people see human skulls,
Yes. No.
they they easily associated with bad things and sacrifices and all those exaggerations that colonialism has been you know creating for almost 500 years. So
Hmm.
for our ancestors, what really a human skull can represent, it represents eternity, you know. And let's remember that is this skull, once once our energy or soul or spirit, whatever you want to call it, abandons it, this was the house for our consciousness. And consciousness, I choose to believe that is, you cannot destroy it, will go somewhere else. And they knew it, and also they knew, as we know today, that the human skull is the hardest of all of our bones. So for example, if they cremate a body, when you're after you die, if they cremate your body, I learned from a guy that works at the crematory in Portland that actually the skull is so hard that they cannot cremate it. So what they do is they grind it.
Oh.
And then they put it with the ashes, and that's what you get, from
Wow.
a cremated body. So our ancestors knew that, and that's the reason that they related that to eternity and to a lot of positive things. And let's remember that also, it's, of course, the first thing that you're gonna think if you see a skull is about death and dying and all those things. So for our ancestors, dying was a transition, and a transformation, and it also can represent that. But of course, that's only my opinion, and that's what I've been learning through my own personal research. I'm sure that people has other valuable information. So
Yeah. And what were you? What was that the same technique too that you're using on that one, or
no,
was it
that one
different?
is it's completely done with my. You saw my device. I use
Yeah.
a razor tip, and it's just a wood burning device, and I just did some flowers around the skull and all that. Yeah, I didn't use my fractal wood burning device for that. Not at all, because it's such a small piece. Usually, when I do fractal wood burning, is because I'm doing something, working on something bigger than that.
Yeah. Vero said she named her name. How do you pronounce that?
Tlaloc.
Okay. And then
So
Oh,
Aris.
Eduardo, the Tlaloc that you have behind you, I've seen it on Facebook pictures. Did you make that Tlaloc mask?
no, I
No.
actually work with my friend Regulo Arroyo. He's on Facebook as Máscaras de Madera Juan. He makes all my masks because I
Oh.
own a collection of, I think I have about 25 different masks, all ancestral inspired, and I painted it. I painted it. And if you allow me, let me grab that mask real quick so you can see
Yeah.
the details
Yes.
on that, because it's such a beautiful mask. He does such a beautiful work. And I like to show this mask to you. See? And I wear this one when I'm
Wow.
drumming and in ceremonies. It's a beautiful mask.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
And
I, you know, so I painted it. It's a wooden mask.
Is
yeah.
it heavy or like
No, no.
wood?
So
No.
so the type of wood that he uses can be very light, because whenever he's making a mask for me or carving it, because this is all hand carved. He
Yeah.
doesn't use any power tools, and he lives in La Sierra de Puebla, and he speaks Nahuatl. Nahuatl is his first language. So whenever I need a translation, I get that from him. But
It's
he
good to
That's
asks
have
a
an amigo like that.
Oh
that's a
yeah, and I find him. Another friend recommended him to me, and I asked him because he wasn't doing this type of mask before I met him. He was more like doing the viejitos masks,
yeah.
for that kind of stuff. But then, I was looking for a good carver that could work on my masks, because I had that crazy idea of, uh, just owning some of those, and then when my friend recommended him to me, we talked to him, and when we said, would you be interested in working on something different than what you have been doing? And he said, oh yeah, of course, and he started doing these beautiful masks, and of course, I get them natural, and then I do the painting, or sometimes I do wood burning on them, and it's amazing, to do collaborations is something that I really, really enjoy.
No, that's beautiful. And then Araceli said that back in the before we did that too. I think your wood carving. She said, "Beautiful work, Eduardo. I would love to see my Paloma Negra logo with this technique." And I think she was talking about your wood burning technique. But that, you what you present is some really beautiful artwork here, and we're happy to have you here. So
thank you so much.
Yeah. So let's see. Say beautiful work.
Well, thank you.
Am I a psychic, or is it? I'm just saying these things.
I think you are.
It's AI, I think. It's AI is right.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence is. But yeah, so we're going to go into another one of your technique, and then the next part will come into the more of the group itself, okay?
Yes.
So, because we're loving this. We're loving watching your artwork here. And I think I did it in 3 series. Hold on. Let me scrub it a little bit here. There you go.
Another drum, another huehuetl. That is not mine.
That's
that
not?
that huehuetl, Maestro Gerardo Calderon, a wonderful musician from Mexico City, but he resides in Portland. He owns that huehuetl, and he asked me to do something on it because it was playing. Since it was playing, I decided to do a huehuetl because he's a musician.
I see. Yeah.
And I use different techniques when I do wood burning. So I showed you, the fractal wood burning. I mean, not the process, but how it looks with the other drum. And then you've been playing the videos where I use my razor tip, the wood burning device, and now what I'm holding is a torch. It's just a little detail torch.
Yeah.
And you can actually, feel empty spaces. Like if you pay attention, that's what I'm doing right there.
Yeah.
I'm just filling in spaces that I want them to have that look. Because just pay attention how when you do that, you still get to see the texture of the wood. If you don't burn it too much, you kind of have to, take it easy and know what you're doing. Because if you overdo it, then you're not gonna get good results.
No, it's beautiful.
It was so mesmerizing to where I would just...
So I'm sorry, I had to zoom out.
Well, people really enjoyed that video on Facebook.
Yeah.
They've been sharing it and making beautiful comments on it, and I just like to mention real quick that part of what I do it to inspire people to do the same.
Yeah.
To turn off the TV and hands on something.
Never. I'm off. I turn off the TV, I go to my phone. So put the phone down, put the TV down. And Ellie, right? Ellie Santiago. Amazing artwork, Eduardo. You're so talented.
Oh, thank you very much.
And then Evelyn wrote, I can see that after our people start learning and getting deeper in our culture, the similarities and the connections. Yes.
So Evelyn is a comadrita that's in my danza group. So thanks for listening, Evelyn. And yes, she's always into the platicas and, really trying to, learn the cultura and, share that with her familia. And so she's always interested in the platicas that we have.
Oh, how nice. Yeah. Well, thank you, Evelyn. That's her name, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to play we'll play a video of one of the dances too. Let me look here because I'm not wearing my fabulous glasses, and I'm actually farther than usual because I'm trying to get the sparkles off me. They seem to follow me, so I'm gonna play one of the dances, and you can talk to me a little bit about it after. We'll get back into that, but we appreciate everybody for coming out for Cali Cocktail Hour. Remind me never to drink sake because I have to go to the men's room. So I don't know how to say it. I don't have a video that long. So I'm going to play the video and you guys are going to come up. I'm going to run. I'll be right back. But everybody, we appreciate you. Sorry, that was my confession. So
Well, it's still gonna be here when you come
yes,
back.
I'm going to turn into a hummingbird right now. And I'm going to go. I'll be right back though, but we're going to play this part right here and just hold it down till I'm here, okay? So here it goes. Then we can talk about it afterwards, okay? Here we go.
Wow, that's awesome. So the kids that were in the back, were they going to join and follow?
They were, yes,
Yeah.
yes, they were. So, uh, like I mentioned earlier, that those were some of the assemblies and presentations that we were doing with our friend Laura Martinez,
Okay.
and also in other festivals. So working with children is just beautiful and amazing. And whenever we do a presentation, there we get to a point where we like to invite people to interact with us and
Hmm.
say, hey, come and dance. And sometimes I let them drum, a few of them, if I see that they are into that. But one thing about children is that if you tell children who wants to dance, you're going to see all of them willing
Hmm.
to dance and excited about it. And when you ask adults to come and dance, they're going to be shy and they're going to be like,
Yeah.
not me.
They'll find their kids. Here we go.
Yes, or they start like pushing their children, like ahead. Okay, you go.
Yeah.
And some of them do, but it's wonderful working with children. And what I like about, what we were doing with our friend Laura Martinez is that we were going to different schools, like elementary schools and middle schools and sometimes high schools, because also my wife started teaching danza here in the McMinnville, Oregon high school. She started a group there, then she had to stop because of COVID, of course. Uh, Working with children, there's nothing more humble, there's nothing more, amazing than that. And you see, children are not like us, they don't pay too much attention to the color of the skin,
Mm-mm.
and we have to take advantage of that, because usually, because humans, because we are not racist by nature. We Once we start growing up, then our parents or people around us can start putting these ideas in our minds, and then we end up turning into something that we naturally are not.
Right.
So going and drumming and dancing with these children, they love it, they all participate, and sometimes I feel bad because they don't want to go back to their seats, they want to continue to dance.
Yeah,
and
they
and
do.
sometimes, sometimes there are so many children that we just don't have the chance to invite them all to dance, and I'm like apologizing and saying next time, and I think children, like for example, I remember uh, Northeast Portland. There's a huge community of black people there. So there's a school where 90% of children are black, and then the rest is Hispanic and Asian and white and all that. But when you see them, there's no uh, that doesn't bother them. They get along just fine. And then when I started, bringing in my drums to do a presentation for those children there, they came and they said, "Oh, African drums! This is so awesome!"
That's what I was gonna say. That they're able to relate because their
Exactly.
ancestors and their culture, they use the African drum. So it doesn't matter what kind of drum for them. It's the sound, it's the vibration, it's the frequency, and that's where they're able to catch and feel it.
Yeah, yeah. It was just wonderful to hear that. And then I explained to him what it was really, and he said, "Yeah, but they look the same, and
Yeah.
this and that." And so wonderful experiences with our friend Laura Martinez and doing those assemblies and
So,
presentations.
and do you do well? Do you do a lot of work in Portland then with going to different schools and?
We were actually pretty active before
Yeah.
COVID, of course, and
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that when things get back to normal, if we don't know what normal is, but
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Something.
When it's possible, I'm hoping to do more of that because I really enjoy working with children and sharing with them, and I think we will continue to do it whenever there's a chance to do it.
And then Teresa said TMI, but I think she was talking about my trip, my unexpected trip. Next time I'll wear my space pants, or depends, so that way I don't have to worry about it. Zara said, "LOL." Zara knows me. um, yeah. But this is live, so this is the beautiful part of it. Like, you can't do anything, so you know what. And Vero said, "Yes, I agree. Put the phone, tablets down, and get inspired with art." And
Absolutely.
yeah, and Vero said, I found myself buying adult coloring books during this pandemic. Realized how therapeutic art of coloring can be.
There you go.
Yeah, and one thing too is I do want to. I mean, not that other cultures or anything like that. I speak is our Mexican culture the use of color, right? You go down. I mean, I tell people I go to Oaxaca. I'm like, I don't need to go to art school. I mean, I just got to walk down the street,
Right.
and just the houses, the beautiful colors. Like, you're like, that's not supposed to go together, right? And you're like, oh my God, it's like the houses, and I mean, just the beautiful colors, and the things that get me going. When I go down to Mexico, is I don't necessarily take classes down there when I go down there, but I what I like to do is talk to the artist. I think that's my way of absorbing and communicating, is that kind of communication that I get, rather than going down there learning how to screen, because I love it, but I think that we talk about the technique and the sense of color too, and coloring books, and the therapeutic of putting your hand in your creating something with your hand, and putting all that energy into that thing.
And I think it's like the same. It's like when you eat. And the reason I say this is we're so used to picking up a fork, picking up a spoon, and eating, but back then we would use our hands. And so, like, the digestion process works from the time you pick something up, because it's already telling your mind what you're feeling, what you're seeing. And so, same thing with art. It's kind of like you find tools that you
Yeah.
use, but it's your hands that are still creating.
Yeah. Which
Yeah, totally agree.
COVID really messed me up, because we eat tortillas all the time. So I was like, I had to wash my hands every time I touch something else. And so every time I'm like, oh my God, okay, I'm gonna eat with my hand. I'm gonna make a tortilla. And I'm like, yeah. Anyways, that was my big beef with COVID. So we're gonna go to another solo a dance up part right here. Okay. Now.
Okay.
I wanted to get up and just dance and follow along with her.
That was good.
That's
Yeah.
that's my wife, Maria Malina Mikis. Uh, you know, we've been so blessed because after we started the group, after some time, we were celebrating. We were dancing in a festival in Hillsboro, Oregon. So then I noticed a guy taking pictures, and he had a nice camera, and he seemed to know what he was doing. so so then he talked to my wife, and then my wife came to me, and she said, this is Adrian, and Adrian wants to invite us uh, to go out in nature, and he wants to take pictures of me and the group if they're willing to come, and and he says that it's something that he's been thinking about for some time. And then I said, of course, and we talked, and he said, okay, I'm going to whatever place, this date, and we made the arrangements, and then, he started taking us to these beautiful places. I mean, there is so many beautiful places here in the Northwest that, and we didn't know about those places, but he knew because he takes pictures of landscapes, so uh, then he took us to Arizona. He said, there's this place, and its name is Habasupai, Arizona. I'd like to take you there for pictures. And then when we were there, we were just amazed by the place. If you have the opportunity to go to Habasupai, Arizona, you have to go. That's the place where you have to go because a lot of people, when they see that video, they think that it's unreal, and then I have all kinds of comments, mainly positive, on Facebook about that video, and some of those people commenting, they said, "Oh, that's not real. That was computerized, or I don't know what, if it's real or not, but they just can't believe that it's real." So what gets my attention is that there's still a lot of beautiful places on the planet. We just have to take care of them, and
Yeah.
we just have
Yes.
to respect them, and this is native land. So to go to Havasupai, you need to go through a process. And right now, because of COVID, because the Havasupai people, uh, just like all other native peoples, they've been, hit pretty hard. So I think they closed it, and so all the people who had reservations to go, because you have to make a reservation, and good luck with that, because they feel pretty fast once they open, for the year. So this is a place where you have to walk more than 5 hours to get there.
Wow.
There's a
Wow.
hiking where you walk to one of the veins of the Great Canyon in Arizona to get there. Of course, if you don't want to do the hiking, you can always pay like $130 to the helicopter. But then, what's the point?
Yeah.
And so we went there, and my friend Pedro Pablo was with us, and so I was drumming, he was playing the flute, my wife was dancing. So can you imagine her dancing after that, you know hike more than
Yeah.
5 hours, carrying all her stuff,
Hmm.
because you have to camp for 2 days, and you get to stay 3 days there. So we have to, and there's no stores there, there's nothing. You camp there by the beautiful blue water, and it's an unreal place. You have to check it out. So then my friend took a lot of pictures, but also made a video with his phone, and we posted it on Instagram and Facebook. And we didn't know that this video was gonna get a huge response by the audience, by people, and mainly what people experience when they see it is something very, very positive and powerful because it's beautiful. I mean, danza by itself is already colorful, alive, and
Yeah.
beautiful, and then you add up this unreal place. Well, it's real, but you know what I mean. It's just so powerful, I believe.
So Lisa said Maria is a powerful being with the heart.
Oh, so are you, Lisa?
Yeah. Thanks for sharing these beautiful, talking about these beautiful places with us and breathtaking. Here's a question for you. We've always had this beef with Oregon, so I need a Mexican food, California versus Oregon. What's up? We won. We're here. We got it, that one. Anyways,
You have to ask that.
I've heard about that stuff over there. That's what us.
Eduardo, I have a question for you. How many danza groups are out in your area?
Well,
Or, I mean, around.
yeah, in the Portland area, including all the surroundings, there must be easily more than 10.
More than 10?
Yeah, easily more than
Oh,
10.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then, once you cross the Columbia River, that's the Washington state. And then there's also more there. And there's groups in Seattle. In fact, tomorrow we're going for a Temazcal sweat lodge in Seattle, or friend Xochitl Garcia. She has Temazcal in Seattle, and I think she's having her annual anniversary. I think it's her fifth anniversary doing Temazcal, and we are going there to dance and drum and celebrate with her.
And then Teresa wants to know where can we see this on Instagram?
Oh, Instagram. You find our page is just Huehca Omeyocan on Instagram. You're gonna find it pretty easy. So.
And then you have it on Facebook too, right?
And it's the same on Facebook too.
Okay.
But it's gonna be easier to find it on Instagram because I post a lot of stuff on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm not so active, so it'll be easier to find it on Instagram.
Okay. And we like to thank all the people out there in Twitter. That's our first time shooting out to Twitter live, and Twitter is another.
Yay!
Yeah. So people forget about Twitter, but Twitter is the newer revolution again. So,
well, I don't even have Twitter. I should.
Yeah, I'm learning about Twitter now because I'm going into the different kind of art world, and it's a different world actually. So these different social media platforms, actually they called Facebook and they call Facebook and Instagram traditional. Yeah, they're like, those are traditional spaces like Instagram. I'm like, oh my god, because I'm going to this different world of just different artwork in a cryptocurrency kind of, it's a whole different world. I mean, it is.
I usually catch my news on Twitter.
Yeah, but they use a lot of Twitter, they use a lot of Discord, a lot of Clubhouse now. So there's all this new stuff, and I was like, wow, okay, that's Anyways, so
I'm pretty
welcome.
Traditional then.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh my god, I better step it up then, because So Twitter is tonight. So it's the first time streaming to Twitter tonight, but it actually looks pretty cool. So I'm actually impressed with it. Yeah, and we'd like to thank you for coming out too. I don't know if Teresa has to go right now because she has a show at 6 a.m.
Early in the morning.
Yeah, I do have an early show. So yes, I'm actually going to step away. I will let you guys finish. Eduardo, it was great meeting you. Your work is beautiful. Your wife, I love her traje, her dancita. She just has a finesse to her danza. And so, hopefully, Creator will allow us to, cross paths or even share a dancita or
it will.
Yes, definitely. And so thank you, Ruben, as well, for, just creating this platform for gente to connect, and, glad for all of those that are listening out there and, that was able to leave a comment and say hello. It's always good to hear from you guys. And I'll go ahead and leave it at that.
Yeah, and have fun at your show. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Yeah, thanks.
I always catch it when I wake up, so I'm like, okay, I put my headphones on, I watch it a little bit, so. And what's the the link to the show, or look on your page.
It is on my page. I'll go ahead. I'll put it in the private chat, and then you can share.
Yeah. So 6 o'clock in the morning, everybody, for there. So
So
Eduardo,
then
it's you and I again. I have my DNA. I wanted to show you. Right, we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, we talked
Why I'm so
about it.
confused as a Mexican in my culture because I have so
Why
many
is
different.
that what you said? Why you're confused?
Yeah, I'm so many different things. I'm not. Yeah, my girlfriend's like, "You are a mutt." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so." But we talked about this yesterday. So, and I have some more pictures of that I want to show too of
Well,
that
before
you're
we
taking.
continue, I'd just like to
Yeah.
say thank you to Teresa. And same feeling. It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you. Hopefully, we can share some drumming and dancing and burn some copal and
Yes,
blow the seashell and do all the things
yes,
we
definitely.
do. And and just to let you know, well, my wife, she's been dancing since she was 12 years old. So dance is part of her life, and that's the reason, that is so natural in her. So anyway, thank you very much, and it will happen, I'm telling you.
Yes,
We're gonna manifest it
Yes.
absolutely.
right now. We just said it right now. We're all getting together. So everybody out there, stay tuned for the location, the secret location.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pues, buenas noches. Gracias, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. And those of you that are tuned in, keep tuning in.
I have a Spanish one. Can you read that real quick before you go?
Gracias por su tiempo y energía y el apoyo a Huehca Omeyocan y Eduardo Cruz, un gran artista y ser humano.
Well, I don't know. That's my wife, so I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, you should have said that. You should have
Maria.
kept that one.
Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing him with us, and
Yeah.
beautiful work. And I just wish you guys the best, and que le sigan al pie de la batalla, and keeping the cultura alive y a seguir el aprendizaje que nos toca.
And then Tera, I'll meet you at the Comedor tomorrow, maybe, or sometime this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Buenas noches a todos.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Okay. So Eduardo, it's you and I now, right?
I know.
At that time, that again. So we like to thank and thank you for coming out. Like we said, it's going to be, you thought it was a half hour. I said no.
Well,
right.
Well,
It's just it, right? But I do have a couple pictures that I did. You did send to me, and they're really beautiful. So I do want to know a little bit more about them. So let's go here.
Oh, that picture, that's my wife with our friend Samuel Becerra, the musician, the one that was playing the tlapitzali or the flute in one of the videos. And that place, it seems unreal, but that's Oregon. That's the environment here. That's nature here. That and I really encourage people to go out and find these places, because most of them are available for people. So that's another picture of our friend and group member Adrian Luciano, the guy who had this wonderful idea of going out in nature and doing all these pictures.
It's beautiful. It does look unreal too.
It does. It almost seems to me, I wasn't there that day, I wasn't able to go. So some of the group members went, and then when I saw the picture, I thought that's unreal.
Yeah.
This other picture, that's from also from Havasupai, Arizona. Just like the one on the waterfall.
Okay. Wow. That's beautiful.
That is a beautiful place. I'm telling you.
But how could that be? It's when you think about Arizona, you don't think about this kind of.
No, you don't. That place is so special that if you ever have the opportunity, I really, really recommend that. Yeah, that's a life-changing experience there.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, and this right here.
This one is actually our 2018 annual celebration in Tillamook Cape Lookout State Park. That's our ceremony, just by the sea, just by the beach.
Wow.
And So we every time we do it, after we finish the celebration or the ceremony, the danza, the ladies, all the women go and they offer flowers
Yeah.
to the ocean, and it's just a wonderful, beautiful celebration.
Yeah, and Lisa's been trying to get me to come out to Oregon. I've been
You
stubborn.
should,
I
you
will. I
should.
am this year. COVID taught me a lot of stuff, so it's time to
You
come.
know, I
Yeah.
think. Well, I want to invite you to join us to be a part of our celebration this August 7th and 8th.
Yeah, that'd be great.
If you
So,
can make it, we'll be here.
and this one here?
This one, that place is called Lost Lake in
Yeah.
Hood River, Oregon, and that mountain at the on the background, that's Mount Hood.
Okay.
So this time of the year, actually, because this picture is like from a year ago, this time of the year, that's when you can see the Milky Way just right above the mountain.
Wow, that's
And then
another
it
beautiful one. Yeah.
reflects on the lake. In fact, my friend was there yesterday, and the lake is full of snow.
Wow.
So
In this
you
one
know,
here?
that one is in Utah, I think. Yeah,
Oh wow. Yeah. That.
Arks National Park.
Which one?
Arks
Okay.
National Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show another one of I think it's a group of there you go right here.
Okay, so that's some group members, and then the lady in the middle, she's a wonderful artist. I think she's from El Salvador, but she lives in Portland. Amaranta Colondrines, good friend of ours. And then the other lady, the lady on the right of the screen, uh, just a friend of her, I think, a friend of her.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it seems like you have a great, a great community in Portland. Actually, probably trying to teach more people out there, different kind of cultures, right? And
Yeah.
especially what you're doing. It seems like you have a really good network out there. And talking to Lisa, Lisa's from Sacramento, so we always talk about, cross pollinating, how we can do that as
Mhm.
some way. This which is a cool way because, like I said, this way everybody gets to know you here in Sacramento. Everybody gets to know you here, and the people that know you in Oregon, right? Kind of vice versa. But it's wonderful to to get to talk to you about everything here. And we said we're going to do part one and part two. That's why you send me all those videos, right? So
Yes.
yeah, it is great because that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Um,
And hopefully, by you sharing all these pictures and videos with your audience and people all over the world, or people in Sacramento or
yeah,
Oregon,
yeah,
wherever you are,
yeah,
people feels encouraged to go out, because you see, it's safe to go out as long as you do it responsibly. And there's places where you can go that is safe, because if you go out in nature, more likely you will not find a bunch of people.
yeah. And I think like I think during COVID, we also realized how much art and music, and just art. I would say art in general has impacted our lives and how much we need it, right?
Yeah.
And how artists talk a different language and how we emote to that, and how we put our anxieties into art, and and once we get it out of our system, either it's either coloring or painting or whatever the case, cooking, same
Yeah.
thing, and I think that's great. And I think that I would really love to hear more of the music that you did, that you guys were playing. That would have been awesome. But your artwork is beautiful, and I think people here in Sacramento would love to see your artwork. So hopefully we can get that done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am very, very grateful for you having me, and by having me, I mean having us, because I represent a group, and I represent a community, and I represent people that are into these things.
Yeah.
And the importance of art, I mean, it's just life changing, and for people out there, that might say, "Oh, I'm not good enough to
Yeah.
do art." I'm gonna say, "Yes, you are. When was the last time you tried?
Yeah.
When was the last time you did something?" And if you get those coloring books, there's something that I like to share with you, and it's
Yes.
that, well, coloring and drawing, they both have the same benefits as meditation. How cool
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
So if you say I'm not good, for art, I just don't have any talent, any skills. I'm gonna say just get some coloring books and work on that, and you'll be surprised of the things you can do, and you'll be surprised about how you feel after that.
Yeah. I always say, creation is my meditation, right? I just create, and I'm in the zone. I don't have to sit down and meditate because
Yeah. Well,
you know,
that works pretty good,
yeah,
for people like you and Teresa and myself, because you create all the time.
yeah, yeah,
But there are people who they just haven't developed that ability, that
yeah,
or they don't have it,
yeah,
because I'm not saying you develop that. Maybe the universe put that into you, and you're filtering that, or
yeah,
however you can feel about it, because every artist can, experience that in their own personal way.
yeah. And I
But
believe, like I said, I believe that we have to expand the term artist and creators, right?
yeah.
And because I think everybody has that in them. They just got to find it, right? And coloring or whatever we talk about, there's no boundary really, And like I said, you go to Mexico and you're like, the houses they're painted there. I mean, that's art, right? Like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
Macho Pintas, made this, and I think like, for us, or not for us, but like for me, my dad was a junk man. They called him the junk man, right? Mexico, that's my two dads, but one of them was that he went out and looked through the garbage cans and brought back stuff and made, kind of fixed it, painted it, and sold it at the at the flea market, La
Mhm.
Pulga.
La pulga, yeah.
And yeah, and that's how I learned my stuff. I got this scrap wood, and I made I don't know if you see Maria Sabina, right? Like these little
Mhm.
pieces of, you know, I found an old tarot card, and I was like, I'm not gonna throw it away. I'm gonna make something out of it. I don't know if you can see that right there. And it's just a
Yeah.
scrap wood. I painted it, and so I'm like, I'm not throwing stuff away. I'm gonna create what I can out of it too. Um, we have one more comment right here. So
Oh, how cool is that?
my first trip to Portland, Oregon was visit the grotto and the Mohammed Falls. I was
Monoma,
feeling as
Monoma Falls, yeah.
yeah. See, so I haven't been there yet. So I'm gonna go. I promise. I have friends
Well,
up there too.
we'll be waiting for you.
Yeah.
Hopefully, soon you can make it here.
Yeah, and we'd like to thank everybody for coming out for Cali Cocktail Hour every Friday night. We'll have another guest tomorrow, but you're going to come back too. We're going to do part 2 with you too. So we're going to go just a little bit deeper into because did wanted to show Eduardo something, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday. And so if everybody has to go, we know that's fine too. So but we have a lot of people still here. But I wanted to ask you a question too, and this is going to be from from a perspective of a Chicano, right? Mexican, born here, or no, born yeah, born, I was the first one born here. My other brothers and sisters were born in Mexico, so
See.
I used to tease them when I was a kid. I was like, well, so I'm on Naciste en una casa en Tijuana. I'm like, I was born here in America, because they were born in a house. I always tell my sister that too. I'm like, you were born in a house, okay? I was born in a hospital. Um, so CPS caught say Chris is going to bed. All right, sorry. But I want we talked about this yesterday, right? About I don't, and I wish that a lot of Americans would take their DNA test, because I think that's something that that we all have to touch upon. What are we? What part are we, and what is the journey that we became? Who are we are now, right? And I'm going to show you a little bit, and I did take a picture of my DNA. So, and we talked a little bit about it, but this is what I have right here, and which is a lot, right? So you go 54%, 54.9% Native American right? Point
Mhm.
point two native Asian, and then you go down and it's 36% Southern European, Spanish and Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
But you have Jewish, you have African, you have Western Asian, and so that is Mexico right there, right? And we talked about like how we came how we came about. I told you about my what do you call it, my romantic um, how Mexicans came to existence, right? There was a native woman, and the native man became in a lamoureux, and they got married. I'm like, nope, that didn't happen, right? Spanish came, they took advantage of everybody, they did what they wanted to do, and we came about, right? And so we are the colonized and the colonizer, all in the same body, right?
Yes.
And yeah, and so um, we have to like become almost in agreement with our own DNA to figure out like who we are, and like we talk. I do believe in trauma through DNA, so it's somewhere down the
Yes.
line, right? It comes down to it. So, um, and yeah, I talked about you. You said you haven't done it yet. I'm like, well, at least I know a little bit about it now. I'm like, the newest one is Cyprus. I'm like, okay, I'm from the island of Cyprus. I'm like, how did that happen, right?
Mhm.
Because I'm a person when I go to Mexico, I know that spirits come to me, right? And I'll meet someone on the street, and then they talk to me, and I'm like, they tell me these information that I need to know at that moment in time, but I never see them again, right? So, we talked about just how did we come here, right? How did we, and the journeys of that too. So, but that was my DNA. That's what I wanted to show you tonight. So,
Well, thank you for
yeah,
sharing that with me. And uh, my opinion that is, uh, in order for us to make peace with with ourselves, and get rid of that trauma, is learn about history and
yeah,
learn about who we really are, and then that helps a lot, a
yeah,
lot. So, for example, every time someone comes to me and tell me, "Oh, you know what? You can pretend that you are native or Mexica or
yeah,
whatever you're pretending, but I know better." And some people, they even pointed out the fact that I have curly hair,
yes,
and I'm like, yeah, but so they say we are mestizos,
yeah,
you know, and I was okay with being a mestizo for some time until I learned something. Uh, well, I learned two things. One is that we are all humans and nobody is below or above another human. No human is above or below another human. We're all
yeah, yeah,
human beings, and we are all equal in that sense. And religion, spirituality, philosophy, any way of thinking, you know, kind of uh, tells you that, So then I learned another fact, another thing, and it's that people from what is today Spain, because when they invaded, this continent, Anahuac, or it's a Chilan, which is the true name of this continent, of this land. When they invaded it, it wasn't still, Spain as such,
yeah,
as a nation. So, but I learned that living in what is today Spain, there had been already a mix of different cultures and ethnicities, at least seven or
yeah,
eight of them. So they were already mestizos.
yeah,
So then, how can you come, with that background? How can you invade another area of the planet and tell people that because basically you raped them,
yeah,
now they're mestizos? when when that is your background. So then I said, we're all humans. We are all you know related, and we should all work on learning our own history
Yeah,
and
yeah,
start liking ourselves. We have to like ourselves. We have
yeah,
to like who we are, and little by little, start a process to uh, uh just get rid of that trauma, and then our future generations
yeah,
will do a lot better than what we do.
yeah. Because I'm confused. What I mean? So, so I'm gonna figure it out. But so it's taking me this long. So I decided
Well,
said thank you and good night, and then Roberta said my 23 is similar to yours. Ruben. I think a lot of us are probably pretty similar in a way, right? We may have a little bit different from each other, and I think that's a good thing to learn from what what we really are. So
real quick, I'm
yeah,
sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
So, uh, how cool is that? That my wife wants to give away a shirt of the group, which is this shirt here.
I love it.
For
Yeah,
whoever stayed until the end of the show, and so you're gonna have to pick up one of the persons from your audience,
yeah.
and get their
So who
information, and
wants
then
a
my
shirt?
wife
Yes,
will be sending you a shirt. I
it's a
mean,
beautiful shirt too.
it is,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I guess she feels like sharing uh, some of these with you or your
Yeah.
audience.
Oh, look, we already got a winner. Me. So there you
Okay,
go. Vettel will get the shirt.
okay. Well,
Tell her she better
congratulations.
put two in there because I was the one that said the first one about the shirt. So
Okay, we'll do that.
oh,
so
sorry.
please, so please
Uh oh.
get
Uh
her
oh. See what you
information.
did? No. See, Mira. See, Vettel. So yeah. So Vettel was the first one. Roberta, and then Rebecca. Uh oh. Yeah. See. Uh oh. See. We already have an acceptance, so it's gonna have to be Vettel. She was the fastest one on the gun. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
So
like she was paying attention.
yeah. So Vettel, you have to give us your address so we can send it to you. Yeah. But and like I said, this is a really deep discussion that we got into yesterday. So and I know people probably it's Friday night. So but still, I appreciate this conversation because I really am learning a lot about myself and a lot about my growing up Chicano. There's a big thing about Latinx and all this stuff and all this. I go which I'm fine with, but I said, but don't call me Latinx because I don't want anything with the word Latino in there, right?
Yes,
I
exactly.
rather call me Indigenous. I'm more indigenous than but I can take Chicanx. I can take that because or Chicano because it was a rough growing up with the term Chicano because you're a Chicano and then my parents who knew better Spanish than me or my family mira ese no habla español bien parece americano, right? It's like, okay, well, there you go. And then and then the word pocho came in, right? So not from here, not from there, you have no country, right? So after all this time, I told people, I'm like, I'm going to take Chicano because, to me, it's more revolutionary too, because we fought
It
for this thing.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
So, and that's why I keep it, I'm like, that's, so now in this new cyber world that I'm into, this new virtual reality world, it's a whole different thing. I keep Chicanx as my artist name because, not because I want to put my name in, get anything else, but I want to represent in that community out there, which is it is a different world. It's a virtual reality world, and hold on, we got to see what's saying. IOD is Chicana. More people use the term white. The term white is DNA. Yeah, yeah. See, so and that's like I said. There's a lot of different. with Roberta's saying too, a lot of different things about like it use Hispanic, right? Well, we don't use Hispanic anymore because they're trying to put everybody, because everybody's like, we'll talk about, my friends are El Salvadoran, like, hey, you're Mexican. I'm like, no, you're not Mexican. You're El Salvadorian, right? So you have to keep, they want to keep their identity, like they want to just bump everybody up. So, but I think it's, like I said, it's very important that I keep my identity just because I want to present that out there too. But I know that, my whole life I felt that I am part of the indigenous culture over the Spanish culture in myself. Other people, that that's different, but when I got my DNA and I was like 54% indigenous, I'm like, yes. I knew it. If I was like 49, I would have been pissed. So, but yeah, visiting March, I was referred to a pocha. Yeah, right. In Oaxaca, though, you know what I do now? So they're like, I'm exotic now. They're like, oh, you have a California accent. I'm like, yes, I do. I'm a hola, ¿cómo están? All right. So I have my California accent. So now I'm exotic. It's like having in the 80s having a British accent, where it's like, oh yeah, or a French accent. I'm like, yeah, in America. So, but I love the talk that we had yesterday too about
Oh yes,
identity
totally. And my opinion on that, I mean, identity is kind of complicated, but it all depends on where you come from. So again, you have to learn. I mean, it's our responsibility to learn our history, so we know who we are. So there's a few words that I don't use.
Yeah, we do.
And I don't use those words for a simple reason, because we are all humans, and because we need to really be conscious of that.
Yeah.
So I don't use the word indigenous. I don't use the word Latino. I don't use the word Hispano or Hispanic.
Yeah.
I don't use the word Latinx, not at all. Because you see, if I start using the word Latinx, then I'm gonna also call white people white, and add the X by the end, white X, black X, because it's pretty much the same. I mean, if you do that, then you have to do it in general with every ethnicity, with
So
every
wouldn't it be Wedo X?
Wedo X.
What X? What X?
If there, first of all, I'm not Latino and I'm not Hispanic. I'm a human being, and I'm Anahuac because I haven't gotten my DNA test, but I'm sure I can assure you that even with my curly hair, I will be mainly native.
Yeah.
And so why are they gonna call us or tag us as Latinx? Well, now you're gonna be the Güero X.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I have it says you have 20,000. No. You have 2,400 such and such DNA relatives. 100% are are native, right? I'm like, of course, right? I mean, I'm all okay, and so, which is funny because a lot of people, and we talked about this, right? A lot of people think, that they're my sisters, we're Aztecs. I'm like, we are not Aztecs.
Exactly.
Right? We're not Mayans. And there's much more out there than, I mean, there's still a community that live out there, of stuff.
And something you have to know is...
Yeah. And, and you really have, I always think that there's one person in each family that wants to learn, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right now I have my niece who's like, I want to, so we get on YouTube and we go through, I take her through Mexico on YouTube. Because I know she hasn't been there, and I said, "Well, here's this. Here's these people right here. This is this culture right here. You can't just say it's one culture. It's Mexico is such a big. I would love to go every state in Mexico. That's my goal, But I'm stuck in Oaxaca right now, so.
Oaxaca is such a powerful place. I mean, I told you about yesterday how Professor Guillermo Marin Ruiz calls it La Reserva Espiritual de Mexico.
Yeah.
And art is amazing there, Oh, so I mean, all these, terms they've been using, with us, I don't think they are accurate at all.
Yeah.
And when it comes about the language, well, language. What is language? I mean, language is a tool because communication is more than language if you think about it. Because how do babies don't talk and they still communicate?
Yeah.
You still know when they're hungry, you still know when they're dirty, and you
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
you still know when there's something wrong with them. And so communication is more than words, is more than a language. And I think that we should really focus on what or whatever similarities we have instead of pointing out all the differences we have.
Yeah.
And I think that could make the world a better place because uh, I like to listen to Alan Watts once in a while, sometimes very
Yeah.
often.
Yeah. Yes. That's
So,
yeah.
and one of the things he says in one of his lectures, Alan Watts says something like, if there was a civilization uh, that came millions of years ago to the earth and saw you know nothing really going on, just this hot rock in space, and then they left because they saw nothing. And if they were to come back today, and they were to see the people, they wouldn't see people as the way we see it. They would see people as the earth. He uses the term the earth was peopling, just like if you're walking in the street, and you see an
Yeah.
apple tree.
Yeah.
If you see that in winter, the tree appears to be like just not much. But then you come back in spring and there's apples,
Yeah.
and the apples are the tree. I
Yeah.
mean, they
Yeah.
carry the seed of the tree and all that. So I think we're all humans. Again, we're all humans, and I think all this division is being caused by bad, terrible leadership and
Yeah.
governments and
And hope.
religions and all that.
Yeah. And hopefully, as people, we can see through that and come together too, right? At the
Well, I
end.
think what you're doing tonight, what you're doing probably, in every show, you are, in a non-violent way, you are going against that.
Yeah.
Because even though you have most of your, guests and participants and people around you are, brown. I think based on what you mentioned earlier, you're willing to include pretty much
Oh no, they're white.
everybody.
They are. That's what I tell my friends. I'm like, oh, so they're all kinds, but um,
Yeah. So I think we have to get rid of part of stopping this mentality and healing is to be aware, to be conscious that we are no longer in survival mode.
yeah, yeah, and like I said, I think a lot of people, if the more we talk, I think the more we have in common, right? The more
Yes.
we can break, and the more we listen, the more we can heal, right?
Yeah, totally.
So, and I think that's a great thing too. Is like out there. So, yeah,
Yeah, totally. Well, we're gonna have to do, if you allow me, to
yeah,
do
yeah.
part two.
Well, we are.
Let me know when
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
ready. I think for tonight is
yeah.
11:04 already.
Yes. So no, I told I was like, I'm looking at that. I'm like, well, we should go, but we can go forever. So everybody, thank you for coming to Cali Cocktail Hour. Thank you, Eduardo, for hanging out and talking and hanging
You're
out for half an hour.
you're
Um,
welcome, and thank you.
so we went over an hour and a half according to your clock, right?
Yes.
And everybody out there, thank you. There's still a lot of people on here, so that's great. For hanging out. Thank you for coming out to Cali Cocktail Hour. Thank you, Eduardo. Thank you, everybody out there. And we are here for that one person that needs to hear something in there. Be safe out there. And for all the people who have passed during this time in COVID, we are here for you too. And this is how the social started anyways with COVID and everybody out there. And Cherie says, good night. Good night. Somebody for answer now. See? Good night. Vero said, buenas noches, good night. Vero, I will give Eduardo your address so he can send that shirt out. I'll be all well, yes. See? Old white dude says good night.
Good night.
Yeah. So, Zach's a great guy too. So anyways, everybody, good night. Eduardo, I will talk to you soon. And, maybe we'll have Lisa on this conversation too, because, she's the one that brought us together.
I think we should.
she's another one. So I will talk to you soon. Thank you very much, everybody. Everybody have a great night. We love you. I love you. If that's what you're here for, we love you. So, and we have Walter Mercado with mucho amor. He was always, nonviolent person too. So that's great. So Eduardo, thank you very much, and I appreciate the conversation. And I'm sure we have a lot more to share with your artwork.
Yes, me too. You're very welcome, and thank you. You have a wonderful night.
Yeah, and let me ask you a question. Where do you get your artwork? I mean, if people want to buy it.
Oh, I mainly sell my artwork to people close to me and friends, and sometimes I don't even sell it. Sometimes I just give it away. So if people wants to get something, well, they just need to contact me.
Okay.
You can probably provide my Facebook page.
Yeah.
And then if they mention that they heard of me in your show, I will be willing to give him something. How cool is that?
Be careful.
I will have a limit.
And Uli said, good night, guys.
Person. So if there's many of them, I will say, well, that was only for a few of them. So yeah, whoever is asking.
And Uli said, me white too. See? Uli's German, so.
Me white too.
All right. Well, everybody, good night. I will play the outro, and have a good night, Eduardo. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Ruben. You too. Okay.
All right. Good night, everybody. Everybody, next Friday, 9 o'clock, Cali Cocktail Hour. Go on Twitter. That'd be nice. All right. Good night.
I've seen my dad, and I'm alive to kill the time. What triggers the idea of la da da da? Well, I've lived this before. Why must we experience it? My curiosity kills cities of cats. That's that. La da da da.
Good night, everybody.